Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we'll be talking about Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 8, Episode 15.
PSA, we are also doing Love and Marriage Detroit. If you followed us from the beginning, we did Love and Marriage Detroit Season 1. Now we are doing Season 2, but I need y'all to watch it. I need y'all to subscribe. I need y'all to like it, comment, all the above. And Blair, you ready to walk us through this last, a break from part 2 of Love and Marriage Huntsville?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is not the finale. This is the part 2 break.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Let's go.
So Nell calls Chris to explain to him the confrontation that happened with her and Kimmy.
Yeah.
And she's like, we just don't match. We both have A-type personalities. And she's just going to mind her business from here on out and just kind of leave Kimmy alone. And hopefully they won't have no more issues.
Well, you was drunk out of your mind. That's one of the reasons why y'all was butt heads. Not so much because of the personalities. You was rude. But, you know, I digress.
Kimmy and Tisha are talking in their bedroom, and Kimmy's like, Destiny is going to act up when she sees this room. Tisha says there's no closet. It's the hottest room in the house. They got to share this bathroom. Next, we see Stormi and Tisha talking, and Tisha is glad that Destiny is going to be there so that way she can defend herself.
Well, here's one thing, Tisha. That's your plus one. And because that's your plus one, hey, listen, Kimmy should have her own room. And truth be told, Latisha, you should have your own room too if you didn't have a plus one.
Oh.
But since you have a plus one and the plus one so happens to be someone who Mel hates, Mel can say how much she don't hate this girl. But when you come out and just say F the girl when she ain't even there,
right.
I feel like you have some strong feelings for that girl. You was going to be room with somebody anyway, Latisha.
Yeah, that's how I feel. And honestly, with them standing in there and stuff like that, and maybe, you know, I'm not in the room, so I don't know what it feel like. The room looked decent to me. And like Kimmy said, let me hurry up and get dressed so we can get out this room and get on the beach. You're not going to be in the room for that long. So
only thing I know is that the real millionaire in that whole cast, Stormi, is not complaining,
and she's sharing
a room. You get what I'm saying?
So Melody is talking about because they all get to the beach, they're getting ready to do jet ski. She says she's gonna call her little island boo. Okay. So it's the concierge and he's coming to bring towels.
Okay.
But she is flirting with him, and Nell is just like happy that Mel is out here flirting and, you know, just kind of doing her single thing or whatever.
Okay.
So the ladies go jet skiing. They have a great time. But Tisha feels that she needs to warn Destiny that Sunni is here.
Okay.
Stormi is more concerned about Mel and Destiny since Mel's talking about F Destiny the night before. Shanita, you know, on the other side. So we've got Kimmy, Tisha, and Stormi were all talking in kind of on the water. And then you've got Mel, Shanita, Nell, and Sunni that were all like in the cabanas, like talking. So Shanita's saying that Tisha is an op. And Mel's like, well, why do you say that? And Shanita's like, because she told me everything I need to know at the dinner table. Okay. And Mel's like, well, yeah, that's kind of like Jesus and Judas. And Nell's is just like, you know, Mel's fans have blown her head up to where she's comparing herself to Jesus.
What are your thoughts on that?
I feel like they're making it bigger than it is. I don't know why Shanita feels like she needs to come at Tisha this hard. You know, I guess defending her friend or whatever, but in the name of the season or whatever, Tisha and Mel really haven't had any issues. They've gotten together in different scenes. Things were cool. And they're on this vacation together. So can we not like have some type of weird tension and talking behind each other's backs and stuff like that? You know, it's just like, let's try to enjoy the trip for what it is. But for some reason, Shanita is like a dog with a bone with Tisha. It's a little odd to me. The
thing with Shanita is how come you're not you described Mel as one way. How come you're not describing you described Tisha one way. How come you didn't describe Mel the same way? Because they both are around each other and they know they don't like each other. Yeah. Mel have no problem being around people who she don't like. But yet you are looking at Tisha as if she's the op. Hey, listen, Shanita, I just want to let you know that your audition to be on the show is over. You get what I'm saying? Whatever you're trying to do and like whatever you're trying to basically prove and basically being the main voice of the cast when you're not even on the cast. Hey, listen, we don't want to see you on this show. You get what I'm saying? But it is what it is.
So Sunni asked Mel how she and Stormi are doing. And Mel was like, you know, we're good enough. Like, she had a problem with the fact that I changed my number and she didn't have my number. And Sunni is asking, you think there's some type of jealousy type of situation there? And Mel was like, people think that they can come in a circle and be the HBIC. But you know what? Like, you know, you will not dethrone me, but you can create your own throne on here. That's why I brought you on to this platform.
Yeah, right next to me. I don't know what it is about this Love and Marriage series. If y'all followed us throughout this whole series with the Huntsville, the DC, the HBIC was brought up in last season of DC. Of everybody want to be the head, be in charge, as Ashley was in Love and Marriage DC. And now Mel is saying the same thing in Huntsville. At the end of the day, Mel, you was intimidated by Stormi's success. Right? Stormi came on the show, which at the end of the day, like, y'all was friends until you changed the number, right? And then you trying to make it seem like she's weird for feeling some type of way about feeling weird that I try to contact you, but you didn't let me know. And then you tell her, hey, just DM me, and then if I get to you, I get to you, and things like that. And now you think it's weird that she feels weird that you're acting weird. Like,
I feel like Stormi even took the position of being Mel's guard dog at one point when she was getting into it with Destiny, talking about what's up and all this other type of stuff. And pretty much I felt like taking Mel's side without even really knowing who Destiny was for real, when they were at odds. So it is weird how Mel thinks that Stormi came in here trying to be HBIC. And I'm just like, it seemed like she wanted to be your friend and your protector in a way. And she also wanted to show you how she runs her business so you can do well in running your own business. Like, she walked you through her warehouse, like y'all were kikiing and having a good time. Like, it didn't seem like Stormi was trying to take your spot. And the thing is, like, Stormi's successful in her own right. She don't have to take what you think you have. She is that girl. And
at the end of the day, y'all are on the same show, on a successful show. Like, y'all are on multiple seasons of this show. So I don't even... This is what they used to say. They used to say things like, whenever your insecurity was showing, they used to say, your slip is showing, right? And Mel, you showed us your slip in this moment. That basically you felt intimidated and you felt insecure. So you created some type of fake beef or some fake reason of why Stormi wasn't qualified to have your number, where you didn't even communicate to Stormi why you changed your number. But now you're like, hey, now she feels the type of way that I changed her number, and I don't know what's wrong with her, girl. You're acting weird. That's why. You get what I'm saying?
And Mel is saying, like, Tisha, you know, she can only do as much as you give her. Like, basically, you got to ignore the foolishness. And she's telling Sunni, keep your cool, don't fuss when it comes to Destiny being here. Yeah,
the thing that's so interesting about this cast, it's so funny. Shanita was talking so much, I forgot that Mel brought two friends. I totally forgot the other friend name and things of that nature. But you could definitely see, like, there's the peanut gallery over here talking with Mel, surrounding Mel and things like that, basically being her cheerleaders and things like that. And then there's, like, the main cast kind of, like, away by the water, Tisha, Kimmy, and Stormi and things like that. So what you see right here is a clear divide. A clear divide. And people are basically picking their side on who they believe is going to be here at the end of it all, in my opinion.
So Tisha ends up walking over to the ladies and they kind of rejoin each other as a big group. And she's telling everybody, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Like, let's try to get our point across in the right way. And she's kind of directing this towards Sunni when it comes to whatever conversation she might have with Destiny. And Sunni was like, okay, well, you need to be telling your friend that as well. At the end of the day, Sunni says that she's not mad. She's just here to have a good time with everybody.
We'll see.
So the ladies go shopping. Tisha goes back to the house to be there for when Destiny gets there. And I felt like they left this in on purpose. And I'm like, and if Mel is a EP, why would you allow them to leave this in? I felt like it was shade. So Mel tries on a ring. It's a $22,000 ring. She's looking. She's like, oh, this is nice. And Stormi is the only one that we see that purchases something from that store, which we assume if that's a $20,000 ring, all the rings is probably over $10K or so.
I'm thinking at least not $500.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And then we get to Mel going to another shop and she ends up picking up a moo caftan something.
Whatever
talking about she's going to be cooler at nighttime, so she's just going to get a little sun, like a little throw to keep herself warm.
Listen here.
And I'm just like, it's just interesting how we go from one conversation to where Mel talking about Stormi might have a little jealousy or she might have a little something going on. Stormi ain't even think about you. No. She over here buying and shopping and enjoying her vacation, and you over here putting down the $20,000 ring and picking up the moo. But you know, whatever.
Listen here, and I think
I couldn't have bought it, so I'm in good standing, I guess.
And I think all of it's going to come to a head at the reunion. I think this is the season, unfortunately, where Mel gonna have to answer to a lot of people and a lot of questions, because I think people are really gonna pin her on like what is really your issue with us.
Yeah.
As a cast. Like okay, we didn't defend you when it came to Martell. Okay, what else? We need something else that is like real. That's not vague. That is not something in the sense of I'm just pulling back and things like that. We need a real reason why you're not friends with Stormi. We need a real reason why you're not friends with Destiny, and why everybody end up with the same story dealing with you.
Yeah, they don't know how they end up on the outs.
Exactly. So it's very weird. But let's continue.
So Destiny gets there. Tisha's there to meet her, and Destiny is wearing her mugshot T-shirt, saying that her case was dismissed.
I don't understand.
And
that.
I was like, that is the weirdest thing. Why is she doing that? Why is she traveling wearing this T-shirt? Like, I guess maybe she wanted to make a statement on camera of basically like, you know, wrap up the rumors. It's over, whatever like that. I'm like, I don't want to go through TSA with a mugshot on my chest. I just feel like that's an opportunity for somebody to ask me to step to the side. I don't know. I don't know.
Hopefully she just put it on before she came on that camera.
Well, we'll say that. So Tisha warns her that Sunni is here. Mel feels that, and Tisha feels Stormi and how Mel has talked about how Destiny hasn't been following girl code.
Yeah.
And Destiny was like, look, if I wanted to sleep with Martell or her, I could have.
Whoa, stop right there. Don't see, look, you tried to speed past that. Say that again.
If she wanted to sleep with Martell or Mel, she could have.
Whoa, what was your reaction to that?
I feel like I believe it, but I believe it's more so on Martell's side. Like he probably like tried to, you know, slip a suggestion in Destiny's ear about something popping off. Like I don't know if it would have really happened, but I'm just like anything's possible with Martell, so I don't put nothing past them.
See, here's the thing about it. I don't really even care about the Martell part. I care about the sleeping with Mel part. What do you mean by that, Destiny? And I need you to go into detail about the whole like. Hey,
but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I don't know. But my thing is, I don't know if it came from Martell.
Okay.
Do you get what I'm saying? Like,
I feel like that's the only place.
Like, listen here. I can't. We have to understand that as much as we want to choose sides, these people have been married for a good amount of time, and unfortunately, I'm gonna say something that's gonna rub people the wrong way. Martell and Mel are kind of the same. What do you say that about the same?
Two sides of
the same coin. Because what happens is once you together with somebody for a while, you mirror each other. So even some of the relationships that we see how Martell is with his friendships, you kind of can look at Mel and be like, you're not really doing good in the friendship department either. You just hopping and basically until somebody basically want to be friends with you on your terms,
right?
And things like that. So listen, I'm not putting it past Mel to basically go through those ranks and things of that nature. I would like Destiny to explain more, but you know, I digress.
And she says she's probably still friends with Martell because she's the only one who hasn't really slept with him.
Maybe.
So Tisha shows her their room, and, you know, they kind of talk junk about the room a little bit.
Yeah.
And Tisha says, you know, how do you feel about having a conversation with Mel since she's hosting the trip? We just, you know, don't want there to be any weird energy. And Destiny's like, look, I'm a grown-up. I can speak. I can be cordial. It's not that deep.
Yeah, I feel like in this scene, Tisha was trying to, and truth be told, it is what it is. Tisha was basically being the spoon in this episode. She was stirring a lot of stuff, basically prepping things up to basically prepare Destiny for a confrontation.
Yeah.
And I don't put it past her. I don't blame Tisha for it, but I wonder if Tisha did not prep her for this, what would the real conversations been like? Or would they even talk to each other? You get what I'm saying? One thing Destiny said, look, I could just be here and not say anything to you, but there's so much that Tisha was stirring throughout this episode that I wonder what would have been the conversations been like if she didn't say anything.
So the ladies meet up for dinner.
Yeah.
Destiny and Shanita apparently used to work together, so she is aware of Shanita and how Shanita is, how talkative Shanita is.
Yeah, she talks a lot.
And Mel doesn't. So we're talking, you know, at the table. Mel doesn't miss her marriage. That's something, a question that Shanita posed. They kind of get around a table about like how long people were together before they were married. And Trisha said, you know, it took her 2 years before she married her husband.
Yeah.
And Shanita's asking her, so are you married? You talking about you have a fiance, but you married? Like, what's actually going on with your situation? And Trisha stumbling over her words like she do.
Oh man.
And she was just like, you know, it's a situation. And Shanita's like, well, you in a situation, but you over here throwing rocks at Sunni. judging Sunny. And Trisha's like, look, I didn't interfere in anybody else's situation. And Shanita's like, well, y'all seem like y'all like to pick and choose of whose side you on and all this type of stuff. And Trisha was like, it's different for me. I was separated from my husband for 5 years, and then I met somebody.
Yeah, I feel like Shanita was being very, what's the word? Loud, very talkative, very demanding of people's response. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, their explanations. And I'm just like, who are you?
You are nobody.
To be explained to, like.
You are literally nobody.
I mean, she pushed the conversation along. I can't, hold her for that. But at the same time, if I was a main cast member, Shanita ain't driving no conversation around me.
Exactly. All right,
Shanita, can you pass me the bread? You doing a whole lot of talking.
Matter of fact, don't even touch my food. Like, my whole thing is, like, you talking a lot and you got your own room as if, like, you running things at on this cast.
Yeah.
And the whole point about it is you're loud and wrong. So it's like, just be quiet, sit back like your other friend who we don't remember her name and things like that. And just like, it just came off as if everybody on that side of the table talking about Sunny, Shanita, and things of that nature was trying to impress Mel. We're just trying to do their best Mel impression, just basically just being defenders of Mel and things of that nature.
So Shanita tells Destiny, you know what, I'm on Sunny's side. We got to hear Sunny's position on things. So, I'm sure you have a side. Go ahead and tell your side of the story. I was just like, Shanita is irritating as hell. Because my thing is, number one, we've had this conversation multiple times this season. Sorry, Shanita, you weren't here to be privy to the conversations, but I don't think we need to rehash this for you. And
you're not on the cast.
And you're not on the cast. So, I mean, I feel like I'm glad that Destiny spoke up, because Destiny does have a history of being closed mouth when she needs to speak up. But in this situation, I didn't feel like she needed to explain herself to Shanita. She's talked about the situation ad nauseum at this point. So, but you know what? Destiny was like, okay, I'll play ball. So Destiny said, like, look, apparently our interpretation of friendship is different. They had a relationship after the show, and Sunny texted her talking about, I miss you and I love you, sis. And Shanita's like, well, I wouldn't be texting somebody I love him if I didn't really love him. So Sunny, like, well, that looking kind of funny in the light right here. And Sunny was like, it was in response. She's like, if somebody tells me they love me, I'm going to respond that way.
That makes no sense.
Yeah. So apparently, she spoke to Destiny maybe 3 to 4 times after working on the show with her. And Destiny was like, well, it was more than that, because she was my music manager. So we were in communication.
Stop right there for a second. How many hats these people be wearing?
I know, right? What? But at the same time, I'm looking at Destiny like, why are you letting Sunny be your music manager?
No, like, stop right there.
Okay.
Why are you doing music?
Okay.
Like we went to Madani. Okay, like why are you doing music?
We couldn't get into Madani.
Right, and things of that nature. So I don't understand the whole, like, it's just too many bleeding relationships and things like that. And if somebody is doing multiple things, this is my belief. If somebody wearing multiple hats, oh yeah, I am a producer on this show. I'm also a music manager. I'm also this. I'm also this. Somebody who wear a lot of hats is because they're not good at one thing.
Something falling through the cracks.
Exactly. So I'm like that right there should let you know this was a weird relationship to begin with.
Yeah. So we start talking about the timeline of Sunny, Moses, and Destiny.
Yeah.
And Sunny is saying that, or basically there's a conversation about how Destiny and Moses broke up in August and Sunny married him in December. And Sunny said, and Destiny was just like, well, look, he was sending me money in September, so I don't know where you're getting at that we broke up in August. And he was sending like, I love you text messages and all this stuff up through October. And Destiny is reading the text messages verbatim of what he was sending there at the time.
Yeah.
And Sunny was just like, well, I didn't know he was sending money at the time, but I ended up finding that out later. And she was like, he told me when the times that Destiny would reach out to him, but of course he wouldn't tell me what he was responding or saying back to Destiny. And everybody at the table is pretty much like, okay, so Moses was playing games. And that's the only time Sunny has really ever said, yeah, he was playing games with both of us. I'm just like, so it took somebody else saying that for you to say that Moses was probably not being genuine with the both of you. Like, I'm just like, you make it seem like Destiny is delusional, but when somebody else is just like, oh, he played y'all, and she's like, yeah, he was playing us. Like, no, you wanted to make it seem like Destiny was out here being a crazy ex-girlfriend, and that's not the case.
No.
So Stormi wanted to know, why did you even want to be with Moses after he had been with Destiny? Or at least that's her thoughts and her concerns. And Pretty much after that, like they get into Mel's asking about, okay, when did you guys actually start the relationship?
Yeah.
Because they got married December 9th, and she was like 90 days prior to that is when they actually had the relationship. And that was September 9th.
Yeah.
They were, Destiny and Moses were exchanging texts until October. And Sunni was just like, that's just what men do. Like, she knew that he was dating several women, and she didn't consider Destiny her friend.
Yeah.
And she was just like, you know, she considers, you know, everybody single until married. And Destiny was just like, you know what, friends don't share dinglings. And so I agree with you. We were definitely not friends. And then Sunni talking about, I have the ring. We didn't share nothing. You was the last one who had it. And she's like, hopefully Destiny can just move on from this.
I'm tired of talking about Sunni and Moses. I'm tired of going through the whole storyline, timeline, and things like that. It already been determined since episode 1, literally episode 1, before the second break, that Sunni, what you did was dirty. Yeah, was foul play, right? So I don't even understand why she just won't lay in the fact of forget timelines. I'm the wife. Exactly. That's all she has to say. Forget the timeline. You was never a fiance. You was never his wife. You was his little girlfriend. I'm his wife. He chose me. That's all she has to say. But trying to make it seem like we wasn't friends, we wasn't close,
and it wasn't as bad, and there was no overlap. Yeah, like, no, just be like, it was what it was, but we married now.
Yeah, it makes no sense of like, why don't you just lay in the fact that that's my husband,
and there was overlap, and it whatever it was before we got married, I ain't worried about that. But she doesn't want to say that. So
all right. I'm about to say, you have a lot to say. You keep
sorry, go ahead.
You keep cutting me off.
My bad.
But it's fine. It's fine. Did
you have more to say?
Let's keep going.
Okay.
All right.
So now it's talking about we need to have a good time. So Mel is talking about how they have plans to do some additional things the next day. Tisha asked if Mel and Destiny needed to have a conversation. And Mel was like, no, we haven't talked for like over a year. Yeah. So, you know, if there's anything we needed to talk about, we probably would have talked about it a while ago. Tisha was like, well, you did say F Destiny last night. So, I mean, it seemed like there might be something on your heart.
Continue being the spoon, Tisha.
So Mel says that she meant what she said, but since they've been here with Tisha and Destiny, she's been having an energy of peace and fairness.
Stop right there. This is what gaslighting means. This is the definition of gaslighting. To where you, of course, today you want to talk about how you have peace and fairness, but you didn't have peace and fairness when the peanut gallery was on the beach. You did not have peace and fairness when you said F Destiny. Even Destiny was like, Destiny's whole approach was, look, I'm just going to speak when spoken to. I'm going to be respectful, but I'm not going to initiate no conversations with Mel and things of that nature. But that is very different than the energy that Mel had the day before of F Destiny. That's very intentional, right? That means you intentionally said that. You intentionally wanted to not be in peaceful or basically this timid type of state or whatever it is. So I do feel, or put like this, I do agree with Destiny when Destiny was like, oh, wow. Like, what is that about? And thank you, Tisha, for basically being a spoon in this situation and stirring up the situation. Well, you did say F Destiny last night. And I'm like, well, what was y'all talking about that had to come up? But let's keep going.
So Sunni asked, well, how did Destiny drop the ball in the friendship, you know, between you and Mel? Yeah. And Mel's talking about at her video party, Destiny was confronting her about like the conversation about the village. And she also felt like Destiny was aggressive talking to her in different situations. Yeah. And at the reunion, Destiny talked about how she was confused about their friendship because they hadn't talked in a while. And Destiny said, you know, she felt like she was being cut off and she felt Mel was talking to her as a child. Yeah. And she's like, you never let me know in those different moments of how you actually felt. So it's nothing I could really correct in a way to save the friendship. And when the friendship ended, you know, you didn't have to call me a liar. You could have left gracefully and not just like, you know, drag my name through the mud. Yeah. And Tisha was like, oh, clearly there is hurt on both sides. Yeah. And Mel is telling Tisha basically, I don't need you in the middle. I don't need you piping up. I don't need you in the middle.
And listen here, and truth be told, Mel, we don't need you in the, I mean, not Mel, Tisha, we don't need you in the middle. You already did your part in stirring up the drama. You know what I'm saying? Now stay out. But I think Tisha was trying to point out of, hey, maybe the reason why y'all don't like each other is because y'all both was hurt from both of y'all POVs. But at the end of the day, there's hurt and then there's F Destiny. Yeah. That's two different things. You get what I'm saying?
And Mel was talking about it's old at this point. So Destiny was like, well, you just said F me yesterday.
That's true.
And she really didn't do anything intentionally to try to hurt Mel.
Yeah.
And Mel talks about how she can be naive and a little bit too open at times, and it can take a while for things to register to her. And what I gather from that is once things do register with her, she takes action on it instead of really talking about it.
Yeah.
So Mel was going through it with Martell. She'd be talking on the phone to Destiny, and then Destiny talking about, well, I got to hang up. Martell's on the other line. And, you know, there was also pictures of Destiny hanging out with the mistress.
Yeah.
And Destiny was like, I was over Martell's house for a birthday party, and I was taking pictures of him and the kids, and she was there. She was in some of the pictures, but when somebody like alerted her to it, like she took the pictures down.
Yeah.
And Destiny brings up how you were talking on the phone all the time to the mistress, even trying to tell her how to respectfully cheat.
Woo.
And Mel was like, well, that's stupid. You know, she went through depression. She went through hell. Like, clearly she wasn't okay with her husband cheating. So why would she be on the phone telling a girl to do that? And Destiny was like, did we not have multiple conversations where I said to you, why are you talking to this girl on the phone? Like, let's hang up the phone and actually like confront her. Like, why are you on the phone with this girl?
Yeah.
And messaging this girl? And Mel was like, and Destiny was like, you kept asking her to tell you when he's at her house so that way you can go over there. And Mel was like, yeah, well, I asked her to tell me where he was so that I can catch him cheating. So we see a flashback of Mel talking about, like, I think it was like the first episode actually, where she was explaining about respectful cheating, disrespectful cheating. Yeah. And Destiny in the confessional is like, girl, you knew he was cheating. You took him back. You had another baby by him. How many times you need to catch the man cheating for you to know that he is cheating?
Come on, Destiny.
And that's where we leave.
That first episode, I don't know if y'all watched the behind the scenes of that first season, but that question that Mel brought to the group was actually a question that was not scripted. That caught everybody off guard. It was at that moment where they was like, whoa, they have problems in their marriage, right? And that basically was the villain origin story of how we ended here. Yeah. And things like that. Respectful cheating. Is there such thing as respectful cheating? Unfortunately, it is. Because there's people in relationships to where it's like, hey, their whole thing is don't embarrass me, right? I do feel like in some way, in some fashion, as we all know, Martell was cheating on Mel multiple times, and she kept taking him back, and I think there was a point, in my opinion, because Martell's, as he said in his interviews off camera and things like that, that his mistress was never the side chick, which is crazy to say while married. You get what I'm saying? It's the same girl. Mel knew it was the same girl. So I do think there was a conversation with Martell of, you need to stop messing with this girl. You need to stop messing with this girl. You need to like stop disrespecting me. Stop embarrassing me. In some way, in some form, as crazy as it may sound, I think her being in the public light and her being a public figure on the show, actually gave her the courage to basically be like, you know what, I'm leaving. Especially after that last baby that like he had with the mistress. I think that gave her the courage because now everybody know that he's cheating on you and he had a baby on you, and now we all looking at you like, hopefully you respect yourself enough to leave. Yeah. But if it was done in private and done in the dark, you could easily color it and paint it however you want. But I think her actually being on the show gave her the courage to actually stand up for herself, finally. Because we got to remember, Martell was cheating on this woman multiple times with the same woman. You know, so, and that's not a bad thing. I'm not saying that as a diss to Mel, but I do think that Mel is definitely trying to color it one way, as if like, oh no, I didn't know nothing about it, and you know, the woman's DMing me and she's doing this and she's doing this. I think there was a point where you knew exactly who the woman was, and there was a point where you made a conscious decision, I'm going to stay in this marriage, and the show and being a public figure and public's opinion gave you the courage to be like, you know what, I gotta leave.
Yeah, I think that when it comes to Mel and her friendships, I think a few things actually. First, I'll start at the top. So with Mel and Martell, the fact that they've broken up, gotten back together, separated, gotten back together, had a baby, broke up, like, I can understand where she would feel like she wants her friends to have loyalty to her because Martell was doing her wrong. Yeah. But you was bringing him around asking everybody to be nice to him. You were still in a relationship with him, inviting him to all the couples activities. So I think it's a little bit unfair to tell people now that I'm really done with him, y'all need to be really done with him too. Because he was around the whole time when you was going back and forth with this man. And I don't think that's fair to kind of tell people now's the time when we all draw the line on him. And I also think that Mel has in her head of situations and how she perceives them. Now, is it wrong necessarily? No. I think that situations, you know, with Destiny in particular, it can be seen a certain type of way. And I think that a conversation probably would help, but I think she has it made up in her mind that Destiny is not her friend.
Can I ask you a question about Destiny?
So no matter what Destiny says or does, I think that Mel has it in her head that this girl is evil and she's not my friend. So go ahead.
I don't think it's the evil part. My question is her not being friends with Destiny strictly about Martell? Basically choose a side. And throughout the time, even though Martell may have been the vehicle of me knowing you, but me and you got close. And when things really hit the fan, you chose to be with your original friend and things like that. And I feel like you wasn't behind me enough.
I think that's a large part of it in all the relationships with the ladies she has on the show. Now, the thing with Stormi is like really out of left field. I don't know why that's such a situation that it's in. Okay. But I feel like for a lot of these people, she feels like they should have been on the side of right, which is not on the side of the cheater. And I think she harbors a lot of resentment for them not choosing to back her up in that.
Yeah.
So.
Anything else?
That's all I got.
Now, my thing is with that is, if that's the case, how come she don't have no resentment towards Carlos?
I think she does. I think she went on something recently talking about how there was toxic leadership, talking about Carlos. So I think that she's just good at playing the game and you know, keeping her show on the air, keeping her check coming through. But I think that she feels a way. I do think she feels a way, probably even towards him.
I was about to say, Carlos is the one that employs him and things like that. Yeah. Even though I do feel like this is his last season on this show. I said that since the first episode of this season. But let us know what you think. Now, listen here, before y'all click off, we are going to review, as a community, I'm talking to y'all, Love and Marriage Detroit Season 2. Because we did Season 1. And we going to watch Season 2. So I need y'all to, when y'all get done watching this, wait a couple hours, just a couple, and Season 2 of Detroit will be out. Subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. We see you then.
Bye.
Bye.